I am in the mood today. I'm in the mood today. Today is a very cool episode because it is all about weeknight dinners. We're talking Monday through Friday. When you come home, you don't feel like cooking. That is the last place you want to be. Are we all with me so far? All right, so today I'm gonna show you guys for our first bite. This is a dish we love to make in our house. This is our Thai lamb lettuce wrap. Let's go to it. All right, so we've got some ground lamb on the stove already. Can you guys smell that? No salt, no pepper, no oil. Like, this is just beautiful local lamb, and we need to be eating more lamb. Not only is it rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which I've totally changed my lifestyle. I'll do a little twirl so you guys can see. Yeah. Someone give me something here. Give me something here. This I can do, but I need some help here. The lamb itself has really helped. And actually, it's funny, our kids, we've done like taste tests, kind of prefer lamb. It's got this sweet flavor to it. In general, get behind lamb. So we've got this lamb just crisping away. Into the lamb, I've got some onions, I've got some garlic, I got a little bit of ginger. And then this thing has like a sweet, sour, funky vibe going to it. So what makes it sweet is we add a little bit of brown sugar. Sweet with lamb works. Like lamb with mint and jelly. That's like an old school thing, right? Then we've got the funk fish sauce. When you mix fish sauce with other ingredients, it just kind of brings out the best of them. It's unctuous and beautiful. And then a little bit of lime, which just gives it a pop. We're just letting that kind of cook away. It's almost like a little wok, right? That's just kind of happening. So I've got some carrot that we shredded up. We're gonna use this bell pepper. I'm gonna show you guys a rad trick. When you cut a bell pepper, there's a million ways. This is the way. Top off, bottom off, sneak your knife here, roll. Yeah. And what you're left with is all the yummy bits and a nice sheet. So I'm just gonna cut this guy in half and just kind of cut just a couple of strips. And again, this is how fast it has to be, because at this point, my kid's asking me to play Guess Who. The other one needs help in the bathroom. You know, my wife's screaming at me about something, but it's usually something really honest and nice and helpful, yeah. So I'm just mixing that all in there and just gonna let that cook. And before I get to the sauce, my wife Angelina is in the house for No one has to deal with me on a weeknight as much as you do. We don't meal plan in our household. Do you guys meal plan?
We've tried.
Okay, we've tried. We're not meal planners. And I call her around noon, and it's always like, I'm eating lunch, and she's like, please stop eating, I can't understand you. I'm like, okay, I take it out of my mouth. And then I'm always like, what do we have?
What do we have? What do we have in the freezer?
We just kind of piece it together, and then we talk about what are the kids gonna eat, and it's like a 10-minute conversation, and it's like a business conversation. It's like, okay, bye.
Yes.
When we don't have that conversation, I come home and you just cook, you say that I get a little judgy.
Yeah. I don't get it.
I don't get it. I don't feel like I'm judgy.
Great. It might not be larb, but it's good.
No, you're an amazing cook. She comes from a big line of Italian home cooks, and they're incredible. So I love you, and thanks for always dealing with me on a weeknight, because I am a little picky. I am a little picky. This is just easy peasy. It's like everything in the pool. You just let it kind of stir fry up, and then I want to make like a little peanut sauce to go with it. And have you ever had this situation at home? It's the end of the peanut butter. Is there anything worse than that? Anything? Nothing. And you're like, what do you do with this? So you can kind of take the dregs and just load it up. Put your favorite hot sauce in there. I've got some sambal, a little bit more brown sugar, and this is kind of echoing what's in the pan. I've got a little bit of fish sauce, some sesame oil. You can put some garlic. It's honestly the same stuff. And then you just kind of put it in here and shake it. And it cleans the ends of all the peanut butter. And you make like a beautiful little peanut sauce. This can be a marinade, this can be a dressing. Give it up for the peanut sauce strip. That's a good one. So this is how fast this kind of comes together. You just grab this kind of beautiful larb. And again, it's a little bit bright from the limes. It's sweet from that brown sugar. It's got that funk. It's just got everything going on. And you kind of put it in here. And then if you want, you can absolutely make a little rice. We are, at Homemade, obsessed with this rice cooker. Welcome to 2024, when you can literally just dig into some rice or lentils or farro, put it in this KitchenAid grain and rice cooker. It senses how much you put in. You don't even have to measure. Dispenses water. It's done. Is that nuts? There's AI and there's this, okay? This is such a game changer. So if you want to do a little rice on the side, that is totally your jam. But the way that we kind of build these is you grab some lettuce, you grab a little bit of lamb mixture, you put it inside the lettuce, and then for a little texture, I don't know about you guys, I always have leftover rice on a weeknight. You can sprinkle it in your air fryer, and listen to this. I don't know if you guys can hear this. It's like Rice Krispies. It takes about 10 minutes. So you can sprinkle that on top, and it gives you this really beautiful crunch. Then you can just tear up some fresh herbs. We have mint coming out of our ears at our house right now. We got some peanuts if you want it. You don't need any of this. If you just wrap up the lamb in this lettuce, you will love it. Here's our peanut sauce, and you stuff that right here, and you are a very happy camper. Look at this to you. Will you eat it?
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. So that is how I do a little weeknight dinner, but we've been checking in on you guys at home. So here's a little clip on how you guys do it.
Hi, this is Declan Chapin, recipe developer at Premier Catch, and today I'm going to show you how to make the easiest sheet pan halibut tacos. Let's get started. For this recipe, I'm starting with 3 8-ounce portions of wild Pacific halibut, which I'm chopping into thin strips. I'm going to add these to a sheet pan lined with parchment paper, and then I'm going to drizzle olive oil over all of the halibut and add a spice mix, which is made up of cumin, paprika, chili powder, and salt. I'm going to rub the spice mix in the olive oil until each piece of halibut is well and evenly coated. Then pop them in the oven at 400 degrees for about 10 to 12 minutes or until the fish starts to flake apart. While that cooks, I'm going to prepare my cabbage, my onion salsa, and my homemade taco sauce. Then the fun part is assembling the tacos, starting with toasted tortillas, taco sauce, the halibut, some chopped cabbage, fresh onion salsa, and a little avocado, and they're ready to go. So easy and so delicious. You have to try this recipe.
All right. Today we are still sticking with the weeknight dinner theme. We brought in an amazing dude, one of my favorite comedians, also the host of the podcast Breaking Bread, Tom Papa. Hello. I'm a hugger.
Little sugar.
Little sugar.
Hello, everybody. Hi.
Dude, I freaking love you.
I love me too.
You're unbelievable, and it's rare that you're a comedian. How long have you been a comedian?
30 years, my whole adult life.
Jeez.
Yeah.
But you're a comedian, but you're also you're also a baker at this point. Like, people are recognizing you for your bread making.
I know. I started baking bread about 10 years ago, before COVID.
Oh, yeah.
And I got really into it, and it's kind of taken off, and people started to know me about my bread. And I think a lot of people out there don't know I'm a comedian.
No way. This is the
come
problem.
up. I had a flight attendant on American Airlines come up, and he's like, "I'm so sorry." I'm like, "What happened?" He said, "Our bread is terrible."
No way, really?
Yeah. I don't. They just
unbelievable.
know me as the bread guy.
See, but this is my problem with this, is that us chefs are starting, like you, Jennifer Gardner, there's all these actors, comedians, you guys are incredible on stage, and now you're upping us in the kitchen,
Well,
too.
no.
You're in our territory.
That's very nice of you to say, but I love watching your show, and you put the things together, and I'm like, you know what? I just have to meet him and have him make it, because I can't do what you do.
No way.
Yeah.
I'm not a baker at all. I do want to know, what does it do for you? Does it relax you? What do you
Yeah,
get?
it is pretty profound. I just got into doing. I always cooked. My grandparents and stuff taught me to cook, but bread was like this. I could never bake. I was always like, bread's in between.
Yeah, it is.
It allows you to fail, and
Yes.
it's very humbling. It's a lot like comedy. It's
Yeah.
like you can get really good at it for a long time, but in any day you can fall on your face
Yeah.
and be humbled. And there's always a lot to learn. It's just very meditative.
It is.
I just love it. I love everything about it.
I love that. Give it up for that. I don't know if you guys follow him on Instagram, which the world does. He's got a huge following. You come down. I feel like it's getting more seductive each time. Like, you started off in like a suit, and now you're like in like a robe.
Yeah, I would shape bread and just put it on Instagram. But a lot of times, the timing of this, it's very early morning.
Yes.
And I was in a robe, and I'm like, do I have to get dressed to do it? I'm like, I'm just gonna do it in the robe.
Yes.
And I gotta say, people are finding it a little sexier than I planned.
All right, so how do we do this classic Tom Papa shape?
So shaping is a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I don't really put a lot of flour out on the thing because you want it to grip.
you have this very soothing way about you. And I think it's interesting because you just don't think of like a stand-up comedian as soothing. You have to be the showman.
Yeah.
But there's this side of you that's just like chill and relaxed, and I love it.
Well, thank you. I don't think you have to be a mean person. What I like to do is this is for one loaf.
Yep.
Your bench scraper is your best friend. This is so bizarre. Like when I go on the road, I look for wooden spoons, bench scrapers. Like a lot of comedians go to strip clubs. I go to bakeries. Bench scraper is definitely your friend. And now you want to do the first shaping of it.
No, that looks so good.
And that's pretty much it. I mean, there's a lot of people like really flour the table and stuff, but
There's something a little bit magic about that.
yeah, now sometimes you'll do it in 2 stages. If it's really loose, if it's hydrated, which means there's a lot of water in it, it'll be loose and
Yeah.
you have to pre-shape it. You'll do this, cover it, come back in 20 minutes,
Yep.
and then do another fold.
I love it.
And there's different ways to do it for different shapes. But for TV and for now, this is beautiful. This is really. You
love it?
Yeah.
And then you got a little.
And then you just throw a little towel over it. Yep.
Game over.
Some people do shower caps.
Yeah.
They put that over it.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Why?
It's disgusting. Even if it's a clean shower cap that's never been on someone's head, I can't get hair and food.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
I'm with you.
So do that, put it in the refrigerator, and that's always a really important step.
I love it.
Put
and
it
if
in the
you
fridge
can, and if
and
you
let
can
it freeze.
start learning how to make your own sourdough, this is Tom's. Look how it comes out, guys. Isn't that beautiful?
That is lovely.
You do the tapping.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Feel
It
it.
smells so good. So
Yeah.
inevitably, you're gonna have some left over, and if it's a weeknight, you can turn this into a weeknight dinner, right?
Well, this is what I love because I make a lot of bread in my house.
Yeah.
And I can't eat all of it. And I pass it out to neighbors and they're starting to get creeped out. So there's often that time where it's like, okay,
Yeah.
I
What do
don't
we
want
do
to
with
throw
this?
it away. What do I do with it?
Yeah.
So
I love it. Yeah. So for our next bite, we're gonna make a sourdough strata. Check this out. All right, so we've got some onions that we're just caramelizing here, slow and slow. Does anybody here know what a strata is? Do you know what a strata is?
I think I do.
Okay, tell me.
It is a mixture of cream,
Yeah.
eggs,
Yes.
and whatever.
You're just looking at the table.
And
Tom.
whatever.
Yeah,
and
exactly. And time.
onions,
Yeah.
and television cameras. No, it's but it's kind of like a casserole.
Yeah. It is.
Right?
It's like a savory bread pudding. So we've got
Right.
some eggs here, and then I'm gonna take these caramelized onions, and then Tom, do you mind giving these just a quick whisk?
Sure.
These eggs.
I can whisk it.
So I want to know. I mean, you've been doing comedy for 30 years. What are the similarities between comedy and cooking in your mind?
I think the ultimate thing, I mean, you can get into the techniques and you can get into the process, but ultimately it's about sharing it with people
Yes.
and making them happy. I mean, for 30 years, I mean, you feel really great if you can accomplish a recipe, but when you watch everybody just devour it and you feel like, oh, you've nailed it, like you don't have to talk them into liking it and you make them happy, that's such
Is that
a
the
great
same
thing.
feeling when you just crush it on stage?
It is, you know, it really is. There's definitely this joy, and especially since the pandemic when people got a taste of what it's like to not be with other people.
Yes.
And they did not like it.
Yes.
And they came back to the theaters, and now I'm on tour, and they're like so elated. They're
Really?
like, we're together, and we're forgetting about all our troubles, and we're just laughing. And when I was a younger comic, I'd be a little more jaded and be like, yeah, that's cool, whatever. Now I've really realized the importance of that.
So I have questions about that. That's great. Do you feel like the audiences now are easier then? Like they're easier to make laugh?
No,
It's-
comedy, there's no easy. It's
no
like,
easy.
yeah, if you know, you have to really work to make them laugh.
Yeah. Well, I
It's-
know you started, I mean, this is kind of a tie to your food, but you started doing comedy in restaurants?
Well, it wasn't a plan. You don't get a lot of gigs when you're starting out.
Yeah.
And you have to perform anywhere that has a stage and anywhere that will have comedy night.
Yes.
A lot of times people think, we'll add comedy. That's a great idea, and it's not.
Yeah.
But I started in New York City, and like Jim Gaffigan and I would be in these basements like of a restaurant. There'd be like one little stage, and we'd run down there. The hard part about doing it in restaurants is they would always, you'd be like, oh, and we can eat there too. And then when you're a young comedian, they're like, no, you can have from this side of the menu.
Yeah.
You can't have what the grown-ups have.
You get the kids menu, just like grilled cheese.
That peanut butter thing, by the way.
You love that?
Holy cow.
He's ready to drink it.
Yeah, that is really good.
I love it. All right, so back to the recipe. We've got the eggs in here. We added some smoked paprika, some thyme. We added that caramelized onions, a little bit of mustard. And then we have a good amount of, you can use cream or milk, but we're using cream, so you can go in with that, Tom. Yeah, we're going all in, babe.
You can pour that in, you comedian.
Dance. And then we mix that together. And then in a little casserole dish, you can butter it up. You grab your leftover bread and you just kind of load this puppy up.
Oh, yeah.
And then whatever you have left over in the fridge, and I know your wife's in the house, yes?
I think she's next to your wife.
We both very much married up.
I know, these two roly-poly dudes.
Totally. All right, so we have the bread in here. We've got some kale, and then you take some cheese. When you're doing cheese in any baking or any cooking, you want to have a pulled cheese and you want to have a Gruyere cheese. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
Like a pulled cheese is like a Mozz.
Okay.
And it gives you that that thing. Right? And then the flavor is like a Parm or Gruyere. So we're going Gruyere. Do you like Gruyere?
So, I love
Want a little
Gruyere.
nub? Take a
Oh my
little
God.
nub. Take a
Yeah,
little
that's
thing.
the best.
Gruyere is like unbelievable.
Oh, so
What's
good.
your kryptonite? Is bread your kryptonite? Like, what do you like? Can't.
Bread is, but I also grew up as an Italian American. So cheeses, there's this great ziti dish I make with bell peppers and Gruyere. It's actually bell peppers, thyme, and Gruyere mixed into rigatoni.
Damn.
With a tomato sauce. So insanely
I would be
good.
so into that.
So when this melts, does the pull come in?
It should. Yeah, you want to let it sit, but it should give you a little bit of pull. So we're going to add half this mixture now, and then, Tom, you can pour over the custard over the top.
This is a custard.
Yeah, that's a custard.
Oh, yeah.
You act like this is the first time in the kitchen. You're like, this is salt. Yeah. It's like, I see you there in your robe every day, bro. Yeah, like,
I
you're
know,
not
but
fooling anyone.
you use different terms.
This looks awesome. And doesn't it already look better? Like, that looks
does
kind of
look better.
amazing. And then you top this with a little bit more. And by a little bit, I mean, like, go hog wild, right?
Yeah, go nuts.
All right, so I'm gonna place this in the oven. This goes in for about 45 minutes at 350, and I gotta show you guys what this looks
That's
like.
amazing.
And I think when you make a casserole like this, and Cynthia, which is Tom's wife, I don't know if you guys ever casserole it up, but it is the way to go.
Oh, that is
Look
so
at this.
perfect.
Look at
That is
this.
gorgeous. Holy cow. Wow.
Yeah. That looks good, right?
That's so good.
You're into that?
I'm so into that. That's so great.
I
Can
love
I
it.
ask you a Strata question?
Yes.
This can last days?
This can last days, like 3 to 4 days. Most things in cooking, 3 to 4 days.
And will Strata be better the next day than it is that night?
Yeah, dude, great question. It's like a bruise, always better the next day. babe.
Yeah.
So you want to let that sit. Now I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
This is kind of new for me. We're in season 2 here at Homemade Live. I kind of feel like I'm doing my own stand-up deal. Does this kind
Yeah.
of feel like stand-up-ish?
Yeah, it does.
It's
You
a
feel
hard
in the
no.
audience.
Yeah. He's like, you have no idea, bro.
No, it is, because you feel the audience. You want to
Yeah.
keep them entertained. You can feel when they're getting bored.
Yes.
This guy is just staring at me blankly. You're sensing it. This is very stand-up-ish.
I mean, on that note, have you ever just completely bombed? Ever?
Never. Of course. Years of
tell
it.
me.
Years
Tell-
of it.
so
I
give me one
bombed-
good
I
bombing.
bombed recently.
Really?
Yeah, I had to do this private show, and there was only like 25 people there. So I went in there, and they were having a birthday party, and they didn't want comedy. And they're like, and now here's comedy. And it didn't go well.
I just want a cake.
It was not nice. They're like, yeah, we just want to celebrate the birthday. Why
yeah.
is this man telling us stories about his travel problems? That is the weird thing about being a comedian. You're pretty much just an inappropriate grown-up who shows up and says things that no one else is saying.
I love it. I love it. All right, I gotta hold this up so you, Tom, and look at this guy. Don't go. We don't want to lose. All right.
Oh, that's
I'm gonna
gorgeous.
cut myself a piece. This should be messy. If it's
That
not
is
messy,
gorgeous.
you don't do it right, and you kind of just want it to be crispy on top. And then we're big on just like a quick salad.
Uh-huh.
You know, do you know how to dress a salad properly?
Yes.
Okay.
I add lemon to everything.
I do. It's
Right?
my favorite ingredient.
It's so insane.
It's actually my
Grilled
number one.
vegetables, roasted vegetables,
Have you ever
salads.
grilled a lemon? Like put that face down on the grill?
That's not a thing. Dressed.
No, see, this is where you're already. He's been one of these. These are what you got to use.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I
When
lo-
you're in the kitchen, if you use this, it bruises the greens. So get in there with your fingers.
For
Tom.
real?
Yes. Go gentle.
Wow,
gentle.
that's
Handle it
amazing.
gently, baby. There you go. Yeah. I didn't say you have to pet it. Yeah. You don't have to pet it. Yeah. That's good. That's good. Okay. It's been dressed. It's been dressed.
Thank you.
I love it. So then I just take the strata, grab this beautiful salad, and you just kind of like tuck it into bed.
Oh, that's amazing.
Right. And I don't know, for a weeknight meal, it's not that hard. You use a lot of leftovers, and you can give a little bite there, my man.
Now,
Yeah.
and that you're using quality bread is going to make this much better.
Huge. And I like to do a little bit of both.
Oh my God.
You're in that? That's good, right?
So
So,
good.
I want to ask you about your podcast,
Okay.
Breaking Bread, which is unbelievable. You've been doing it for how long now?
I don't know, 5 years, something like that.
Yeah, and you're having comedians on, and what are you guys chatting about?
I'm always hosting
Yeah.
at my house. I'm always cooking for people, baking
Yeah.
for people. And it's such a great way to start conversations. If you can talk to somebody and ask them, when you were growing up, who cooked for you?
Totally.
When you were sick, what did they make for you?
Yes.
And it just opens up this great conversation.
Yeah.
You know? I would ask that guy, but I don't think he would tell us.
I love it, guys. Tom Papa, this is Bread.
Thanks, buddy.
Guys, here's another weeknight dinner coming at you.
Hi Joel, I'm Micah from Nosh with Micah, and today we are going to be making my favorite go-to dinner, garlicky chickpeas with a shortcut romesco sauce. You're gonna love it. We add a good glug of olive oil. Don't be shy. 4 cloves of garlic, 1/4 teaspoon of red chili flakes. I'm gonna add a can of chickpeas. While these are cooking, we are going to make a romesco sauce using canned red peppers for this shortcut. This couldn't be easier. A jar of roasted red peppers, a handful of cherry tomatoes. If you're feeling fancy, add roasted tomatoes. 3 cloves of garlic, teaspoon of sherry vinegar, a cup of nuts. I'm using almonds and hazelnuts, and your parsley stems. Season with salt and pepper, and of course, your olive oil. There's just something so comforting about a romesco sauce, and it's a great way to use up vegetables that are past their prime. Cover your ears. Smells good. I'm gonna add more salt, about a teaspoon of smoked paprika, and some lemon juice. Perfect. Oh, I wish you could smell this. A spoonful or 2 in a bowl. Sprinkle salt. And voila! Under 10 minutes, garlicky chickpeas with the shortcut romesco sauce of your dreams. I have loved it. You are gonna love this recipe. Thanks, Joel.
We are back. It is all weeknight dinner stuff with the hysterical, making me cry, fall to my knees, Tom Papa. Are you like after a set or after a long day at work? Do you like a little cocktail? Do you like a little glass of wine? What's your thing?
I love cocktails.
Yeah?
I love cocktails and red wine. That's that's my thing. Usually martini. If I'm not working at night and the end of the day comes rolling around, a nice ice cold martini. And then into red wine for dinner. And then try and remember what happened in the morning.
I love it. Well, I think a lot of us kind of turn to the wine, and then you have wine left over. A really good tip is to freeze that wine into ice cubes.
Oh.
And so we're going to use this to make a little slushy. We're calling it a dozen rosés.
Oh.
You into that?
Yeah, totally. We tried it. My wife and I tried freezing grapes last summer. Someone said freeze
That's
grapes
good.
and put that in.
That's good.
It was gross.
No, it's not gross.
didn't love
It's
it.
not gross. You didn't like it?
People didn't love it. We tried
What?
serving it with cocktails at parties, and they didn't love the idea.
I think they melted too fast and it got like a weird jellyfish in there.
Yeah, the jellyfish grape sounds kind of gross. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
But this is a good idea.
Yeah, so what we do with this, whenever you blend anything at home, it's good to start with the liquids first. It helps the mixer or the blender kind of do its thing. So do you want to go with an ounce of your favorite vodka? So here's a
Right.
little ounce right here.
Okay.
I've got a simple syrup, which for those of you guys at home, that's just 1 part water, 1 part sugar, right? So I'm gonna put in that. You're gonna go in with that shot, Tom. There you go. And then things
This
like
is for how many? I'm sorry. This is for
just for us. I think like
For two?
Yeah, just for 2.
1 ounce.
Yeah. Just wondering. I mean, I'm just saying. It's a weekday. I mean, what are you doing on these weekdays? My God.
No, you're right.
I
You're right.
can't hang with these comedians. It's insane.
I'm learning a lot.
And then we've got some strawberries, but you can obviously use any fruit, so dump those in. And again, we wanted this something sippable, refreshing, something that you can whip up and kind of feel like really good about. And then the frozen rosé. But again, this could be frozen white wine.
All
Go for
of it?
All of it.
Wow, look at you.
Now you're not judging. Now you like it.
Oh yeah, I see what you're doing. You're like, no, we want to go light on the vodka.
You just kind of blitz that up. That looks good.
Ooh, that looks really good. Jeez Louise.
Pop this puppy up. You don't have to garnish the cup like this, but if you want to, go for it. And then we could drink this, or we could kind of pass one down to our beautiful wives.
Yeah, I think that's probably the way to go.
That's what we were hoping.
There's one for you guys. You guys can cheers. Thanks for dealing with us. Yes. I just want to say thank you to Tom. Any
Thank
weeknight
you.
laughing, having great food is a good one. We need to emulate that, and you embody that. So thank you to you for
Right
stopping by. Thank you to all of you, and thank you to At Home. We will see you next time on Homemade Live. Peace out.